You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to Season 3 and episode number Gretzky 99 of the Daily Beaver here on the Crier Media Network. Yeah, 99. That sounds really good. Today, recording day is Friday, April 14th, 2023, and it is going to be a mostly sunny day here at the Beaver Lodge, with temperatures hitting 18 today and crossing 20 on the weekend. A little too early, really, but I'm not going to complain. Not going to complain. And we hope that you have wonderful plans for this weekend. Of course, over the past few weeks, there's been the confluence of many different holidays. We've had Easter, we've had Passover, Ramadan. I'm hoping that anybody who's celebrating have had wonderful iftar dinners. And of course, this coming weekend, Orthodox Easter. I'm not sure if it's Orthodox for everyone. I know it's at least Romanian Orthodox. I'm not sure if Russian Orthodox is at the same time. But there you go. My beaver sweetie, who is Orthodox, is going to be spending time with family this weekend. I unfortunately can't go because I have a little bit of a cold.
You don't want to get everybody sick.
Yes, especially since there are little babies and men over 60 who have had to, to go see the doctor for prostate stuff.
Yeah, let's not mess with that.
Yeah, so let's not mix with that. Let's not bring any extra prezzies around. So I will be staying at home, hopefully crossing my fingers that I am recovered enough to go play my curling final.
Is that tonight or tomorrow?
It's tomorrow. I got one more day. I'm feeling much better. Not that I was feeling terrible the last 2 days, but just snub the Bieber. So yeah, I've been huffing the dress stand, people. I'm flying high. It's going to be a great show. Watch out. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him. Hey, Mr. Beaver, hey. And with me, as always, is my constant companion, my dear friend, my brother from another mother, Mr. Grizzly. And hello, Mr. Grizzly's mom and dad, if you're listening. Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast's founding sponsors, The Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. And good morning to you wonderful kits here. Kit Jen, it's always lovely to see you, my dear. Good morning, Kit Dan H. I believe that might be a new name for us. Not sure, but welcome. If you are new, We love that you're here. Good morning, Kit Daniel. Good morning, Kit Jim. We love you. Hope Kit Lori's doing well. Good morning, Kit Saucy, and good morning, Kit Linda M, and Kit Jillian. So nice to see you. It's been a while. All right. Well, oh yes, kisses, kisses, kisses. Absolutely, kisses to everyone. We have a Friday morning bite for you today. But kids, first we must take care of the most important thing on our agenda, which is saying hello to you, Mr. Grizzly, and asking you how's your mental health today.
Good morning, Mr. Beaver. My mental health is spectacular.
I know, I could tell by the way you said good morning, Mr. Beaver.
The sun is shining. It's going to be 22 today, which is a huge drop from the 31 we hit yesterday.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
It was gorgeous out. A friend of mine just opened a new restaurant, and I was helping them out the last few days, and they had a successful soft opening. You got to run the soft opening to see how things progress and find out your best systems, because let's face it, opening a restaurant in this day and age is not an easy thing. So yeah, that was a success. And then of course, I didn't sleep a wink last night. I was a little wound up from Mr. Beaver and I had a very special guest last night on the podcast. And if you tune in this evening at 7 p.m., it's scheduled. We've got it all ready to go at 7 p.m. on the channel. You're going to see
this is a big guest.
Big guest. Let's just say it's what was it, ABC when they would highlight athletes during the Olympics? I think it was ABC. They'd always say, "Let's get up close and personal."
Yeah,
we did.
Oh boy, do we ever!
Unexpected from all parties involved. And we had a glorious time. We have a new friend to both the podcast and ourselves each individually, and I think you'll really enjoy this.
Yeah, and 7 p.m. And kids, again, if you're wondering if we are showing leg, yes, we are. We are. We are teasing. No, I'm
wearing pants. I left the windows open last night, so it's a little chilly in here this morning. So
okay, so no, I am. I will rise up.
Tennis togs? Are they tennis
I am
togs?
in full tennis togs, man. I'm in full tennis togs. I'm hoping for a match today.
Okay.
For a match today.
Weather should be good enough.
Yes, yesterday I paid my invoice. My season fees are paid for. So come on, somebody take me on. I need to smack the living crap out of something.
When we go to the gym, we call that the heavy bag.
Yes. Put a racket in my hand and make me run. Come on, let's go. Daddy needs to lose a couple of COVID pounds.
My name is Forrest Gump. I have been running.
When you said that the sun was shining, it put a song in my head.
Which one is that?
Oh, from a good Canadian band.
Which
and the sun is shining.
Trooper.
In this rainy city. For a good time.
Not a long time.
Boom, boom. Not a long time. Oh, I love it. But today, because it's Friday, you do get us for a long time.
Yes.
So you get a good time and a long time. Hey.
That's my motto. That's my motto. You get a good time and a long time.
Yeah. Today on the True North Eager Beaver Morning Show, we go tantric. All right, kids. All right, kids. Enough. Well, not enough with the silliness. It's never enough with the silliness. We need a little more silly in life, actually. It gets a little heavy. But in the headlines.
Can I hit you with one right away?
Oh, okay. I was going to go for the headlines, but sure.
Yeah, we'll do this and then go to the headlines. Hit you with one right away because I did discuss this.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
This is Bruce Arthur was discussing this yesterday. Skippy and his attitude towards the CP reporter and the CBC.
Okay, shall I do the reporter and you do Skippy since you do him so well?
Sure. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. When it comes to welcome to True North Eager Beaver Theater. When it comes to defending the CBC, you signaled the intention to maintain a level of support for Radio-Canada and French language programming. To do that, the corporation says the Broadcasting Act would need to be amended. So, are you prepared to change the law and create a public broadcaster that only serves one group in Canada?
You work for CP?
Yes, I do.
So your biggest client is CBC, right?
Yes, but my question...
Yes, that's right. I just want to be careful that we don't get you into a conflict of interest here. Have you checked with the Ethics Commissioner on whether you're in a conflict of interest in asking about CBC funding, given that it's the principal source of money for CP?
I would check that, editors, but again, are you still prepared to change the law and create a public broadcaster that only serves one language in Canada?
The CBC, frankly, is a biased propaganda arm of the Liberal Party and, frankly, negatively affects all media. For example, CP is negatively affected by the fact that you have to report favorably on the CBC if you want to keep your number one taxpayer-funded client happy. We need a neutral and free media, but not a propaganda arm for the Liberal Party. And when I'm Prime Minister, we're going to have a free press where everyday Canadians decide what they think rather than having liberal propaganda rammed down their throats. Next question. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go vomit after speaking his words.
Okay.
What an a-hole.
This clearly is a changing channel opportunity, because whenever Skippy screws up, and his latest screw up was the Dear Rapporteur letter, for which he's been raked over the coals, he comes out the next day and either attacks the journalists or attacks the CBC.
He never responds. He never makes amends or responds to or answers a question about his mess-ups. Never.
Okay. And if you put the text back up in that last paragraph, the first line of that last paragraph, that big one, has frankly twice. Mr. Harper's tell was, let me be clear. Yes. Whenever he said, let me be clear, you knew that what was coming was going to be about as clear as mud. Whenever PP says, frankly, you know what's coming immediately after one hell of a whopper. Let's put it back up again. Let's see. What were the whoppers? The CBC, frankly, is a biased propaganda arm of the Liberal Party. Okay?
That's not true.
And frankly, negatively affects all media. Again, not true. No, it's actually raising the game. I mean, if it's negatively affecting all media because it's forcing all other media that do shoddy work to actually raise their game, well, then that sounds like a you problem.
Yes.
It
doesn't favor him. It's bad.
Yeah.
This guy's following the Trump playbook. It's the Trump playbook.
Yeah, Saucy C, which frankly, Pierre needs to fuck off. I agree. He just needs to fuck the right off. Yeah, frankly, and he adjusts his glasses. Those are the two tells. But Harper was let me be clear, in drinking water. Now, the CPC, frankly, is a biased propaganda arm of the Liberal Party. We can take that down now, Mr. Grizzly. That's that Elon Musk thing, right? That he's doing. Mm-hmm. He's like writing to Elon Musk, and he's saying, we need you to, like, I'm not asking you. It's like you should basically, whatever CBC post there is, put a little warning on it that it's it's state-run media. Okay, there is a difference between a public broadcaster, a broadcaster that has its own board of directors and decides its own journalistic policy, and that gets funding from the government because the government believes that every country should have a fourth estate that serves all regions of their country and all the people in it.
Remember, 12 of the members of the board of directors were conservatives and were appointed by Harper.
Pardon?
12 members of the board were appointed by Harper, and they're conservatives.
At one point, they're not all there anymore.
No, some of them still are.
Some of them might be. I don't even know if some of them still are, to be totally honest. But I assume that is possible. I haven't done a comparative list of then and now. But yes, there was one time it was completely stacked with Harper appointees that were almost all donors to the party.
So wouldn't that make them a propaganda arm of the Conservative Party at the time?
Yeah, and conflict of interest. And I mean, and let's not forget that Harper also had like his Harper TV thing, like that 25 people watched, but they spent millions and millions on.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between, for example, Doug Ford and Rob Ford doing the Doug and Ford and Rob Ford show, or Danielle Smith still having her radio show while she's premier, and that type of stuff, right? You yourself funding and to go around the media and actually a publicly funded broadcaster to make sure that you have an informed public, which is one of the pillars of a fundamental democracy.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, Pierre Poilievre is actually upset that liberals are making sure that we can have a basic informed public so that we can have a fundamental basic democracy. And of course, let us remind you again that the CBC, just to prove that how far that there's nothing conservative about conservatives anymore, the CBC is a conservative idea.
That's correct.
Prime Minister Bennett.
Yep.
1932 started, and then the CBC was officially founded as the CBC in 1936. This is a conservative idea, to have an informed public everywhere, that a strong institution that will keep this country together, because we all have common set of news and we have cultural programming that speaks to us and programming that tells Canadian stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's a conservative idea. It's not a woke idea.
That's right.
It's been a conservative idea for almost 100 years.
Yeah. So,
okay. So what? But here's what I'm talking about now. Here's where we get to the interesting part, though. Right? He's been making a lot of noise about election interference. He just wrote a foreign national and said, please, Elon, please, pretty please, with maple syrup on top, interfere in our elections and our political system.
Let's quantify that for a second, though. Elon has Canadian citizenship.
Yeah, so.
No, but I need to make sure people are aware of that, though.
Yeah, he has citizenship, but
yeah, he has citizenship.
Yeah,
he's about as Canadian as
when he went to Queens.
Yeah, well, his mother's from Saskatchewan, but that's why he has citizenship. But yes, he doesn't live here. He went to Queens and then he left.
Yeah, he has citizenship, but he don't know us.
He's not Canadian.
Yeah,
he's not Canadian.
So here's the guy right now. Every time he's in front of the camera, I'm just talking about Justin Trudeau and China. He literally just published an open letter asking a foreign, if not Elon Musk, he wrote the letter to Twitter specifically, based in San Francisco. So he wrote an American business and asked them, in the name of facts and in the name of fighting misinformation, to provide the misinformation on every CBC article that it is state-run media, that it is RT or Russian TV, or that lady from South Korea that always tells the news like this. TV, as opposed to like TV Ontario and PBS and NPR.
Yeah.
BBC. Just a slight difference between
little bit.
TV in Iran and the BBC.
How much you want to bet he would defund the CBC, which won't happen?
No, you can't.
He can't do it.
And what we're learning by that quote, that thing that you said is, remember when we were talking about C11? I'm saying I don't know much about this stuff, but the one thing I do know is that if you get either the Indigenous or Francophones in Canada, particularly autonomous, sovereigntist independence in Quebec, yelling about it, then you're probably screwed. You probably ran a sprint in a room full of rakes.
Yeah.
On something language. This one does have people upset.
A lot of
C11 doesn't have anybody in Quebec upset, but this one has a lot of people in Quebec upset, because if he's going to defund the CBC, he necessarily must defund Radio-Canada.
Exactly.
That.
Oh boy, you've just lost Quebec completely.
Na na na.
Bye.
Na 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 na. Hey, au revoir. Dehors la danseuse, out.
Éteins-toi, tabarouette, là.
No. That just no. Just again, proof that he does not. It's interesting that a man who works so hard, because he's putting in the hours, he's putting in the time, all those videos, all those clips, all those town halls that he's going to, he's putting in the time. It's amazing a man that works so hard on one aspect of his deception is so goddamn lazy on the other.
I'm sure he works his staff to death.
Well, of course, but think of it. He's the leader of His Majesty's loyal official opposition. Yeah, loyal. He's the leader of His Majesty's official loyal opposition. He got a big budget.
Yes.
That mostly we pay for.
Yeah.
And in that, he couldn't have gotten. There was nobody on his team legally who told him that if he made that promise that he'd be stepping in a big bag of doo-doo. Or was it when he was at that campaign, or is it some situation similar to when he was at that campaign event and he wanted to wear that polo shirt with the conservative logo on it. And he was told, no, you really shouldn't do that. That's going to look bad. And says, well, screw it. I'm doing it anyway. Giving himself an additional value of $4,800 to his campaign.
That little shit has not been told no enough in his life.
By essentially
Really?
diverting public funds to a private election campaign, $4,800 worth. And he decided, he was told not to. He was told it would be a bad idea. He says, I want to do it anyway. And he did. And now we have a situation where we have a leader of the opposition party who is way, way, way high up on his holier-than-thou steed, talking to everyone about ethics, while he has a lifetime compliance order with Elections Canada.
So what you're saying is he has zero ethics.
None. The limbo bar cannot be set so low that he cannot find a way to slither under it. If he needs to, he will bring a shovel to the party to dig a trench to get under it. I am not impressed. Oh, look at that. Do you know anything about civics? Interesting. This guy.
TFG, but the F is not former in this instance. TFG.
He is so inherently corrupt.
Oh, God, it's overwhelming to me how corrupt he is.
And you know what the thing is?
How he pursues two things, power and money. That's it. And he will do anything to get them. Anything.
And there's a level of immaturity that, no, but I mean, it's really clear that he went straight from the university debating club.
Oh, yeah.
To an MP seat.
Yeah.
And had, you know, that thing that you say, you know, that Mike Tyson quote, that, you know, the lack of people saying things because, you know, they don't fear people just coming along and punching them in the mouth anymore.
Social media made you all way too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. Actually, I think it would sound more like social media made. I can't do Mike Tyson's voice. I can't do it.
Yeah. So this is, and you know how we talk about like maybe it's like sometimes homeschooling, you know, you lose basic socialization skills. Yeah, he's lost that. He's been soaking in this politics thing ever since. He never took a break to actually have a real life. Learn how to be a real person.
Well, he said,
be real with other people.
When he was young,
never
he only served 2 terms max. And I'm like, dude, you're going on 24 years. I guess what happened was you had that ideal. You should only serve 2 terms and then get out. But you suckled at the teat so long, you're like, you know, this is kind of warm and comfortable here. And look at this golden parachute I've got, a fully indexed pension.
And I can be on TV whenever I want.
He was 31 when he hit the mark for the fully indexed pension. 31. Fully indexed pension. What that means is his pension, which is healthier than most people's salaries in this country, the vast majority, he will be paid more in his pension. And that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. But fully indexed means it is tied to the cost of living. So if inflation goes up 8%, guess what? So does his indexed pension. That's what it means.
But he practices politics as if the debating club was located in the frat house.
Yeah.
And everybody's boofing beer. Hello, Brett Kavanaugh. We haven't forgotten about you, Father Mucker. So like he's boofing beer. All right. And he's got like a crowd of his like, let's say Skippy, probably field hockey.
Really?
Field hockey students. Yeah, teammates going, yeah, go Skippy. Wow, yeah, you really got that, Libs. Yeah.
Field hockey?
He needs to grow up.
That's too much. I don't think he has the masculinity.
Well, I'm trying to think of like the preppiest, most
chess debate team. The chess team. And
yeah.
No, chess players.
No. But no, he's not a chess player.
No, that's right. That requires intellect, cunning, planning.
No, because if he was a chess player, he would have taken some time to consult someone in the legal department and say, oh, you know that CBC defund thing that you're trying to do. Wee-oo, 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 wee-oo. there's, a,
Yeah.
there's something you might want to know
Yeah, you're
before
absolutely
you
right about that.
walk in. So that's what I mean is he's not doing the basic work on the policy. He's literally just saying anything.
Well, he's behaving like a frat boy, although I don't think any frat would ever have him as a member of their community.
Oh, there's my sweet, sweet, dear, 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 innocent Mr. Grizzly.
What?
There's a market for everything. We keep on saying that.
I know.
There's a home for everyone. Literally everyone.
I know. I know. I know.
You know, if you look hard enough, you find your people.
This
Just
is true.
make sure you're looking for better people.
Mm,
Just saying.
not that difficult.
It's like sometimes I'm online and I'm having a conversation with someone and it's like, oh, so you're one of those kind of people. Okay.
Yeah.
No. It's not personal. It's just that we just crossed 8 billion people and there's lots of people to get to know. And oh, look, better people.
Yeah. Bye. You need to work on yourself a little bit, and maybe we can come back and visit this again. But
yeah, it's like, and I understand that I might be being a little hasty and judging you too soon. That is possible. I mean, I've only invested all of 3 minutes, but you made one hell of a first impression.
and I can't get those 3 minutes back.
It's like, yeah, man. So yeah, life is short, and you've already taken up too much of my time. So thank you. Next. Or like Skippy would say, thank you. Next question, please.
Oh, thank you. Next question, please. Next
And
question.
did you like that, right? Like after all that bullshit, right? I'm attacking you. Now, first of all, attacking CP, probably not good, right? I mean,
Let's dig up
the
dirt.
press wires, right? Like in the United States, right? If you're looking for the most fact-based reporting with the
Mhm.
least editorializing, you go to Associated Press first,
Right.
right? You go to the press wires.
Mhm.
Canadian Press is our press wires, our AP.
That's correct.
So, I mean, it's saying it's right in the same level, saying that CP is a propaganda arm is just as silly as saying that the CBC is state-run media. It's literally the complete opposite place of where they are on the spectrum.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Frankly. Oh man. Okay, let's get to some of the headlines.
By all
In the
means.
headlines today, yes, because we're well into it. Katie Telford will testify at the parliamentary committee looking into foreign influence of our political system. Now, she will be able to testify to the extent to which the PM was briefed, probably, as well as provide some clarity onto how the Handong situation was looked into. But she probably won't be able to say much about the intelligence itself, of course. The Conservatives like to call her the government's second most powerful person, which is in one way true behind the scenes, but maybe a little dig at Chrystia Freeland.
Possibly.
Let's try and pit two women against each other and see if they dance. Conservatives love doing that.
Exactly.
And also on that file, it seems that top security officials had promised the committee looking into this that they would receive some type of document giving some details on the number of times the Prime Minister has been briefed. But according to the committee clerk, that document has not yet been produced or delivered. So, and we have no idea as to what the holdup there is. But that should make for some, if you're a political watcher and you like watching live proceedings, that should make for some interesting proceedings today. Because, Telford is no wallflower.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And they're not going to, what you need to look for if you're watching these things is the types of questions that are being asked and the tone with which they're being asked. I'm looking at you, Michael Cooper. I'm sure you looked into his eyes and he was very terrified.
She's been the chief of staff since 2015.
Yeah.
Do you
She's
realize?
got endurance.
Oh my!
People last 2 years or less in that job usually.
That is an incredibly difficult job. Very demanding of your time. You effectively give up your life when you take that position. And she's been there since 2015. That's got to be the longest tenure of anyone that in the last 50 years.
It might be. Because she was there since 2015, but she was second, I believe, to Jerry Butts during the time he was there,
Mm-hmm.
and then moved up to the top spot. So it's yeah. So
Well,
look at the
she was
tone
deputy chief of staff for Stéphane Dion.
as well. Yeah, before. Yeah, and yeah. I mean, and again, that was not an easy job, if you remember correctly, because Stéphane Dion was the guy that was brought in to essentially intellectually, right, counter the separatist movement. And did an absolutely phenomenal job at it as well. Yep. Like, I know that a lot of people really did not like him when he was at the leadership of the Liberal Party, and a lot of people tried to sink him. But I am really convinced that he is probably one of the best prime ministers we never allowed ourselves to have. Because imagine had we done the green shift then.
Yeah, it's a good
Imagine
question.
how far ahead we'd be now. Because everything he had in the green shift is what we eventually did do.
Mm-hmm.
Except he was like 5 or 10 years too early.
He was just way ahead of the curve.
But it's what we ended up doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, he was a very, very smart man. Unfortunately, not the best of communicators, at least orally. In writing, he was great. Yeah, it's. I mean, we're talking about a man, right, who is a proud Quebecer, who was depicted by his own people in editorial cartoons as a rat. Literally, they drew him as a rat. He deserved way better than what he got.
Agreed.
Especially that hit job from CTV out in Atlantic Canada.
I was never a huge fan of his, but I thought the way that they took him down was classless.
Well, again, especially considering his contribution to the nation.
Exactly.
Right. So, but again, guess you're only as good as your latest hit. All right. More headline news. The leaker in the United States has been detected and has been arrested, and is a 21-year-old who I'm guessing was trying to impress buddies
in 4chan or something like that. There, some sort of QAnon tinfoil hat wearing crew of Proud Boys, I believe. And who came out?
I'm not sure about Proud Boys, but
well, similar to that. I'm not saying Proud Boys per se, but that sort of genre.
Okay,
and who came out to defend him? Yeah, I read that last night. Who came out to defend him and say, he should be hailed as a hero? Guess who?
Let's see. All the people that still want to hang Snowden?
No. Well, yeah, definitely. But Marjorie Taylor Greene came out to defend him as a hero. I'm like, look, I still think what Snowden did was wrong. There's no question what Snowden did was wrong. Do I think it was good that the public found out what was going on? Well, yes, but he did it wrong. There's ways to go about doing it, and he did it wrong.
Yeah.
And this individual leaked
bad.
Yes.
And doing the right thing for the wrong reason is bad.
And this individual leaked classified documents that, well, let's just say a lot of lives could be lost as a direct result of it. So this person is going to, well, they're going to be tried for treason, I'm sure, no doubt. At 21, they've thrown their life away to impress an online hate group.
Yeah. Now, just for to let you know, I was listening to a whole bunch of podcasts, and people are saying that like there's a lot of panic about this, but maybe the panic is not all that necessary. One person says, well, you have to understand, first of all, the U.S. leaks like a sieve. It always has. So, number one. But number two said, this was a case of 50 documents being leaked. For sake of comparison, the WikiLeaks document leak consisted of 700,000 documents.
There's a bit of a difference there.
Yeah, so this is 50. Now, 50 still pretty big documents, as it was they related to strategies that the U.S. and NATO would be using to help support Ukraine, and also we don't know, but some of that, if this is a Russian operation, which is being suspected, Russian operations often alter documents or include false documents within those 50, which is why we're getting the warnings to not take intelligence as fact or evidence. It's really interesting that we're getting the same lesson on a global scale that we've just had nationally to come and reinforce it. But the documents also included information not only about nations on the ground in Ukraine, but nations that the U.S., allied friendly nations that the U.S. was allegedly spying on as well, including South Korea and Israel. And Ukraine as well. So that's clearly information that was put in there to stir the pot.
Oh, yes.
Right? So, and there could be some extra reasons for this information coming out now. Word on the tweet is that Ukraine has been so efficient at repairing its electrical grid that it is now in position to start exporting energy to Europe. How's that for resilience and putting your priorities in order? Also, it appears that during the war, the farmers, wherever it is in the nation that they could, where there was an active battle going on or where their fields hadn't been salted with landmines, well, they did keep up farming. And it seems that the nation is exporting so much grain right now that it's actually lowering the price that European farmers are getting for their grain.
This is a good thing, because when this began a year ago, remember how we talked about how this would affect the global food supply? And
Yep.
we were greatly concerned about how, Lebanon gets most of their grain, correct me if I'm wrong, from Ukraine.
Yep. And the Somalia, Kenya sort of region where we have like the Rosie project, right? They were going through a major, ridiculous drought. So, there was, I think there was, what was it? 10 million people in that region specifically that were within like a week of starvation at one point. Things got so bad. So, yeah. Ukraine is being quite resilient, it seems. And I don't think that bad boy Vlad had counted on the Ukrainians dedicating themselves to restoring their electrical grid that well. But they have. So there you go. More things in the headlines. Let's see. Canada's largest federal public service is now officially in strike position. They had the vote. Well, as of today, they can go on strike. So can the CRA officials who voted a while ago. It seems that the head of the Public Service Alliance of Canada, which is Canada's largest federal public service union, has advised federal workers for the moment to not go on strike because contract negotiations are still going on and seem to be productive at the moment. So they're holding off. But now with that vote, they can basically decide at 9 p.m. one night that tomorrow's the day. And that's all the warning you get. So probably up to I'm hearing different numbers, 120,000 to 150,000 public service employees could be affected by this. And thus, that makes a lot of Canadians. Because for the people in our politics who continue to devalue our public service and punch down on our public servants, Try to get through 3 days of life in Canada if all the public service take the day off. All the public servants.
You're in for a hell of a mess. You want to complain about passport lineups? You ain't seen nothing yet, my friend.
Teachers, doctors, garbage collectors, bus drivers, people that make sure that the sewer system, you like indoor plumbing?
Yeah, if all public servants, everybody, if QP decided to go to march lockstep with PSAC, we're done. We're done.
You think you get nothing for your tax dollars?
You'll find
Try
out.
to live 3 days without public servants on the job.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. I found the Marjorie Taylor Greene tweet about Jack. I don't know. Tizera? No, Jack Tizera.
Okay, I never mentioned the names of the shooters.
Jake Tizera. I don't know how to pronounce.
I think that's the X is usually pronounced a CH in that sense. So yeah, Teixeira.
Okay. Maybe. So Jake Teixeira is white, male, Christian, and anti-war. That makes him an enemy to the Biden regime. He told the truth about troops being on the ground in Ukraine and a lot more. Ask yourself, who is the real enemy? A young, low-level National Guardsman? Or the administration that is waging war in Ukraine, a non-NATO nation, against Russia without war powers? So she is a Russian asset, and she just outed herself as one. That's the conclusion I draw from that statement.
Yep.
Why is she supporting Russia, who invaded a sovereign nation? Because that is exactly what she's just done.
Yep. So either she's an asset, an outright asset, or either she's literally as dumb as that clip we saw of her when she was auditioning for American Idol, not under her name. Or maybe she is auditioning under her name and she's not auditioning under.
She auditioned for American Idol?
Oh, you have not seen that?
No, I've not seen. You've got to show that.
Okay, I will look for that.
Though, remember, because they will flag us for it. But I got to see this. I had no idea.
Oh,
she's dumber than a bag of hammers. My goodness.
Well, here, you know what? We probably won't be able to show it all. Okay, well, you keep talking. I'll look for that.
Okay, you see if you can find it. Well, so this is a woman who has, didn't she and Lauren Boebert, if memory serves, try and tweet out the position of Nancy Pelosi during the January 6th insurrection act on Capitol Hill? If memory serves, this woman is a traitor. She's a treasonous. I'm going to say it. She's a Russian asset, as evidenced by what she just tweeted. It's like the administration is waging war in Ukraine, a non-NATO nation. Ukraine has been applying for NATO. They want to be a member of NATO. She seems to not give a damn about the fact that a nation was invaded by a mob boss, warmonger mob boss, which is what Putin really is. She doesn't care. And she wants to call this punk a hero? Huh. I got something for you. Let me show you a hero and let me show you a zero right here on the screen right now. From Alice Williams. To the left, a 22-year-old American soldier, Edward Wilton, who has been killed in battle against the Russian army in Bakhmut. To the right, a 21-year-old Air National Guardsman, Jack Teixeira, who leaked secret defense and intelligence documents for the sake of the Russian army. And you can see that he has a bandolier of 50 cal bullets. There's a better term for that, but 50 cal. Those are 50 calibers. That's the size of them. That's what they use in sniper rifles, but they also use them in A-10, the Warthogs, the A-10 Warthogs, and they're also depleted uranium shells. So, yeah, you hear that, you're already dead.
Yeah. Okay. I found it. I'm not going to play it because it seems that there is doubt that it actually is her.
Okay, let's not do that then.
So anyway, the person there had presented herself as Stephanie Sugarman and saying that she was a couple of years younger. Now she looks a lot like her. And after she does her audition, because she thought she was great, and everybody said, "Yeah, we're going to take a pass," and she was like, "No, I'm really great." So it's like, "Oh well, that sounds like Marjorie." Yeah. And she was just as sort of rude and dismissive as you would expect.
Send me that link. I want to see it though.
But it seems that yes, that there is some doubt as to whether or not this is somebody that just really, really looks like her or is her.
Okay.
Right. So So yes, according to Snopes, it is not her.
Oh, okay.
I just saw the clip go by like about 2 years ago on Twitter, and it's sort of like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's just that sounds like exactly what Marjorie Taylor Greene would be like when she was what I'd expect her to be like when she was in her 20s, judging on her now, but may not be her, so we will not spread that.
No, we're not.
I never cared to actually look to see it. I never shared it either. I just didn't care.
Wow.
You mentioned it, it made me pop up. It popped up in my head. But yeah, it's
Made you pop up, did it?
made me pop up. It's popcorn. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, popcorn. I remember it from a long time.
Yeah, some really weird songs were hits in the 70s. Popcorn and
Because
disco.
everybody was on cocaine.
Oh man. Okay, so
You don't
anyway,
believe
yeah.
me? You'd have to be high to wear this.
Woo! The forked houndstooth sets the scene. Oh,
How about this?
Ooh, great two-tone pants. Tommy would approve. Dial 8675309 to buy these two-tone pants. Tommy two-tone pants.
You had to be on cocaine to wear that. Because you'd be so high. Yeah, looks great. Let's put it on. Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I look good. Let's go. How's my nose?
You ever seen the film Jekyll and Hyde Together Again?
No.
Okay, it
Was it a
early
musical?
1980s. No, well, there was musical numbers in it, but it was
Of course.
1980s, and it was about a doctor, and it's the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story, but the Mr. Hyde was a cocaine addicted disco king, pervert. It goes on and on. You can find it, Jekyll and Hyde Together Again. You can find it online somewhere. It's very funny. It's very ribald. It's very vulgar, but it's very funny. So yeah.
Oh, that sounds like right up my alley.
Hyde's got nothing to hide.
Oh, please tell me that was in a strip bar.
I can't remember, but it's
Scene
definitely.
was in a strip bar.
Okay, look at this
I've
comment.
got a
Look at this
terrible
comment.
mind.
So, shall we
Yes.
get the two-tone pants?
We would rock those outfits. Do they still have the material?
No,
Has it not gone up in flames somewhere?
that material's illegal for
Whoa,
human beings.
jeez.
Not allowed to wear that stuff. It'll kill you. It'll kill you. But it
Man,
stays
you look
clean.
hot.
It stays clean. It rejects sweat. Yeah, it's because it's a material that not fit for humans. Not fit for humans.
Seneca. Personally, I absolutely loved it when bell-bottom jeans were a thing in the 90s. Girls wore them all the time, but they made my butt look nice. And that's what matters.
Well, I remember in the early 90s when kids were emulating styles from the 70s, and I was like, why? Like, why? I remember the 70s. I didn't like the 70s fashions. I mean, now that being said, there's one 70s fashion that I'll hang on to because, I mean, really, who doesn't want to rock a red Speedo? Come on.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I love that.
Who doesn't want to rock a red Speedo?
The look that I really wanted to come back when the retro stuff was coming, like Amy Winehouse was like really popular again. Yes. Everybody was talking about the bell bottoms, but I really, 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 really wanted the return of the he hive. I can only do the man bun. I haven't worked up to the he hive yet.
How much hair do you need to do that? Like, my goodness, he's got to bump it in there, doesn't he? It's a bump it. Remember the bump it?
Yeah, this is just remember. He's like, you need to tease the hair until it slaps you back to get it that high.
Apparently.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, that's a look.
That's something.
Mr. Grizzly is one of the 5 people who could rock a red Speedo. The rest of the people wearing them should never be allowed.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh boy. Other headline news. As we mentioned yesterday, Trump is suing Michael Cohen for $500 million for telling the truth about him. You know that saying, let's make a deal. You stop lying about me and I'll stop telling the truth about you. Okay? So yeah, we're in this kind of situation. He thinks he's going to win this. Unfortunately for poor Donald. Poor Donald. It seems that he went shopping for judges and pulled an Obama judge who's already tired of this shit. Now, the last lawsuit like this is the one where he tried against James Comey and Hillary Clinton and Andrew McCabe and everybody that was associated, and there's 7 generations of children and ancestry to follow, and right, and their next 7 generations, and tried to sue them for God knows how much. And yeah, the judge basically laughed that one right out of court.
Mhm.
It was yeah, I predict similar. It's listen, we are talking about a series of crimes for which 2 people have already gone to jail. Michael Cohen has gone to jail. And let's also remember, right, Michael Cohen got to jail, was released from jail, wanted to publish a book, and then Trump sent his minions out to actually grab him, pull him out of his life, and send him back to jail because he wanted to write a book.
Yeah.
Right? That's how badly he abused of the system. Okay. And then we have Allen Weisselberg, who's currently doing 5 months in Rikers. I'm guessing they didn't charge him with everything that first time to keep him around because they need him to testify against Trump in a couple of other cases. So how about just getting a little taste of 5 months, Alan? Let's see how soft you are.
Oh,
Maybe you'll want to testify after, because there's a couple of things we didn't charge you with yet.
That could be fun.
Yeah. We know what you did. We have the receipts.
We know what we did last summer.
Yes. So yeah, that's gonna. He drew an Obama judge. Oh,
Darn it.
poor sucker. Ah, well. Judge Eileen Cannon can't be working on every circuit. All right. Not so good news. It's been 7 years today since the province of British Columbia has declared a public health emergency in response to the toxic drug epidemic.
7 years.
The toxic drug overdoses.
Wow.
That are plaguing the nation. Last month, the province set a new record for daily overdose calls, and the greatest number of and this number just really shocks me, but you need to sit down for this one. The most consecutive days where paramedics treated 100 or more poisonings in a day.
Wow.
Yeah. New record last month for daily overdose calls, and the most consecutive days where paramedics treated 100 or more poisonings.
Hey, Mateo, how you doing, brother?
Pardon?
I'll put it on the screen so you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, we'll get to that. Leave that up there. I'm just going to finish this point there. And so there have been over 2,000 fatal overdoses last year. And in 2015, the year the public emergency was declared, it was 470 overdoses that got them scared enough to declare a public emergency. About 2,000.
Is that all?
And PP won't help anyone until he wins a lawsuit against Big Pharma.
Yeah. Which would be before the courts for 25 years?
Yeah. So how many more people will die? Rule number 1, you got to keep people alive long enough to form a relationship with them where they will build the trust to trust you enough to consider treatment as an option. That's even before they decide they're going to treatment. That's just to consider treatment as an option. Got to keep people alive. Rule 1. He's not interested.
No, he doesn't care. He wants to lock people up.
All right. Now, Miss Sadeka. Miss Sadeka shared a photo on our blog page or in email with me. I can't remember which one it is, of her son, Mateo, who, was objecting to listening of the Daily Beaver Morning Show because, he was watching something very, 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 very important, while he was eating his Honey Nut Cheerios.
What was that?
I don't remember specifically what it was, but it was very, very, very important to Mateo.
Okay.
So I told Miss Sadeka, say, well, we always forgive kids who can't make it to the live show because they're taking care of the wee ones. Of course, they deliver the attention. But to please tell Mateo that the eager beaver really loves Honey Nut Cheerios and that he's a young man with developing good taste.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I like the Honey Nut Cheerios too.
I do too.
I like them
Hi,
so much
Mateo.
that I'll buy the family size box. It lasts 3 days.
Yeah.
What'd you have for dinner? 3 bowls of Honey Nut Cheerios. What's your point?
Yeah. So it was Forever Nina, a video game streamer. That's what he was watching.
Okay.
So like I was saying, very important stuff. Very important stuff, when you're eating your Honey Nut Cheerios. At that age, that's big stuff. So, Mateo, hello, and thank you for letting Mom and maybe Mom and Dad watch us today.
Yes.
You're a good kid. Oh, he just said, I'm not very young. I'm 5 years old. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were already 5.
Sorry,
That's
dude.
a big deal.
Sorry,
That
dude.
is a very big deal, Mateo. You are right. You're not very young. You are 5 years old.
Mateo, you are the man. You are the man.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You are a young man making your way in the world. So, yes. Now, remember, be good to your mom and dad.
Now
and
I have
when
a
you go
song.
places to learn stuff, learn lots. It's very important.
This is my ADHD. I have a song in my head now, the theme song to Cheers, because you said making your way in this world.
Making your way in this world today takes everything you got.
That's right where my brain went, right away.
Where everybody knows your name.
We're always glad you came.
Oh, I was going to say something, but Mateo's watching, so I will be good.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Do not sully the Cheers theme song.
I will be a very, very good beaver, I promise.
That's right.
I solemnly swear to be a good beaver.
Do not sully the Cheers theme song.
I will not sully the Cheers theme song, I promise.
there is a place in Montreal. The Cheers. There used to be 2 Cheers locations in Montreal. One was right on Mackay Street, right off St. Catherine.
Yes,
it's now been split up into a couple. But the lower section, there was the upper and lower section. The lower section is now called the Upstairs Jazz Club, which is downstairs, which is playing words. But I used to go to Cheers all the time, and the last song every night was the theme song to Cheers. That was the very final song they played every night. Yeah, it was cool.
That's probably the bar equivalent of being in a karaoke place and the last song of the night is "Don't Stop Believing."
Yeah, I would say, definitely, because everybody would sing it at the top of their lungs.
And everybody's jumping, don't stop.
I met and had a couple of drinks with Jerry Mercer there, and if you're thinking, Jerry Mercer, I think I know that. It's the drummer for April Wine.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a Jerry Mercer jazz quartet that played a Sunday night show, and I was in Montreal with my buddy at the time, and he said, "Let's go to Cheers for a beer." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And they said, "Yeah, tonight we're having we have a special surprise guest, Jerry Mercer, the Jerry Mercer Jazz Quartet." I'm like, "Holy crap, Jerry Mercer's here!" I was a huge April Wine fan when I was a kid, so yeah. And then years later, I sat down at a pub with a friend of mine, at my friend's pub, and at the end of the night, I'm sitting there talking to this fella for like an hour. Bar's already closed. Everybody's going home. They're just cleaning up, and I'm waiting for my ride. And I said, take care. Have a good time. Did not know that I was talking to Miles Goodwin the whole time.
Wow.
Didn't know. Well, I have an image of him in my head from when I was younger, and I saw him on stage. So he's got makeup and stage lighting, and then he sat next to me, and like he was smaller than I expected, right? So, but real sweet guy, real nice guy, great songwriter, great Canadian musician from Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia,
Miles Goodwin.
I see Tim said, yeah, okay, I was wondering, Closing Time by Tal Bachman, because I'm not sure about that one. Semisonic. That's better. Yeah. Exactly. See, when you say Closing Time, Semisonic, I think Closing Time, Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, closing time.
Closing time, closing time, closing time.
Well, I go to both, actually. But Tal Bachman was She's So High.
Yes, I love that song too.
It's a great song. I was in a pub in Haberoni, Botswana with my father, and that came on the PA. The DJ played it, and I just looked at my dad and I go, "Dad, do you know who that is?" He goes, "My dad's a country music fan." He goes, I go, "That's Tal Bachman." I go, "Randy Bachman's son." Oh, I go, "Good Canadian kid." He's like, "Oh." So then he got into it, right? Because
Right.
you're in another part of the planet on a different continent,
Right.
and you hear something from home,
Right.
immediately you're
Yeah.
picked up by it.
I remember that as a teenager in my early 20s when I was in the United States, because I was a big music fan already, and I knew that there were lots of bands that didn't get contracts for distribution in the United States. Like we had Parachute Club, which Platinum Blonde, and and it was like how come these people crying over you? Yeah, I mean, great video too.
I drank with those guys 2 years ago too.
Oh, I love Platinum Blonde. And we like I still don't understand how to this day the Tragically Hip and Blue Rodeo have not had a distribution deal in the United States. Now, Blue Rodeo was the backup band in the movie Postcards from the Edge with Meryl Streep in it, and I thought that was going to happen for them then. Nope.
They've done okay, though. They've done okay. You got to remember, we have almost 40 million people in Canada now, so you can have a career in music in this country. At one time, you had to go to the U.S.
Yeah,
like Gordon Lightfoot, Anne Marie, Neil Young, back in the day, like back in the 60s, when Canada was like 16 or 17 million people. There wasn't a big enough audience. There wasn't enough places to play. And let's face it, the driving, in Europe, you can do a European tour in a week and hit 12 cities. You can do 3 cities in a day.
Yep.
You trying to do 3 cities a day in Canada? Well, let's see. We would start in Toronto, then we would drive to Ottawa, then go to Montreal, and now it's midnight.
Right. Pretty much. Yeah. So, it's I forgot what I was saying. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Platinum Blonde, crying over you.
Blonde bands, yeah. Distribution deals, in the United States. Yep. So, but whenever I was there, I was like, I'm like walking down the street and I'm in Florida, and then all of a sudden on the radio I hear Serena Ryder playing Stomp. Like,
that's
Serena Ryder.
That was
Serena Ryder. Yeah, it was like, but I'm sitting there and going, Serena Ryder is being played in the United States? Really? When did this happen? Like this, and I'm like walking on the street, gotta get up. I'm just rocking out, and I'm like, I don't know if anybody else knows the song. Like, who's this guy rocking out, and what the hell is this song? But I know it, and I know the words, and I'm like, love that song.
I was in Miami.
She's a great concert too.
Oh yeah, I've seen her a couple times.
Oh my God! Wow.
I was in Miami a bunch of years ago. This would have been late '90s, mid to late '90s. I'm trying to remember the exact date. And I went in a record store to pick up some vinyl, some Miami House. And I was in this record store, and I walk in, and what do I see plastered everywhere? Oh yeah, she went to high school just like 2 blocks over here. Alanis Morissette.
Ah, yes.
Jagged Little Pill was the biggest record in the world.
Yes.
At the time. And BT Dubs, one of the biggest records of all time, period.
Yeah.
Not just by a female artist, but period.
Yeah.
The top 5, I think.
Yeah, there was a period in that area, first of all, where every artist in the world whose initials were AM were Canadian.
So you had Anne Marie, Alanis Morissette, Alana Miles, and Amanda Marshall, the Canada AM.
Yes, exactly. That was the one thing. And then the second thing was, I think there was a time we had the world's number 1 country artist, Shania Twain, the world's number 1 jazz artist, Diana Krall, and then the world's number 1 rock artist, Alanis Morissette, all at the same time, or pop artist, Celine Dion. So like within years or at the same time.
Yeah, right around the same time. Do you know the last 15 years of Billboard, the top 10 has been dominated by Canadians?
Yeah. Bieber and Drake and
The Weeknd. And what's her name? Scars to You, Alicia Cara.
Alicia Cara, yeah.
Scars to You, beautiful. Yeah. So are we going to talk about Amanda for a minute? And the
Let's talk about Amanda. Yes, please. Let's talk about Amanda.
We're going to go see Amanda Marshall at the National Arts Center.
Okay, we are, because I was waiting for you to get back to me.
Oh, I did. I said, yeah, we're in. You must have missed the message.
I never saw it at all. I thought that maybe you weren't.
Amanda Marshall's in town. I'm going. I don't give a damn.
Okay. All
I'll
right.
sell a kidney to get the ticket. I got to see her again live because she's incredible live.
Okay. Because I was looking there and we're getting short on seats. So
Scoop them
I will
right
buy
now.
them today.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's going to be a great show. I love her so much. I've seen her 4 times, I think, and each time the performance just gets better. Just gets better. She's amazing.
I've yet to see her.
Oh, dude.
And I thought I would never get the chance because I thought that she had just stopped.
She did for a long time, but
Yeah.
she's back, and boy, is she back with a vengeance. And her voice, it's gotten better. She's barely aged.
I know.
Barely aged.
I know.
And her hair is
And
as
still rocking those
spectacular
locks.
as always.
Right.
Last time I saw her was 2019, and she walks out on stage head to toe in bright red, tight pants and the boots and flinging the hair and up there. I'm like, oh man, damn. And my buddy's going, how old is she? And I go, I don't know, like 45 or something. He goes, what? I go, you know, she's half black. He goes, what? I go, yeah, her mom's black. He goes, and my buddy, he's also half black. And he looks at me and he goes, black don't crack.
I would know nothing about that.
I have no explanation.
Kits, as the gays will always remind you, the 3 most important things in life: moisturize, accessorize.
I probably should moisturize, but well, I have hypersensitive skin and I'm allergic to everything. So anytime I put anything on my face that's not a script.
So we just got news that the Daily Beaver's very own Mateo has now moved on to watching Nina. So we will say, have fun, Mateo. Have fun watching Nina, and
have
please,
a good time, dude.
Come back and say hello anytime. Like this, we're always very happy to say hello to you. You're welcome back anytime. I love it. We always had that when we have interviews, like when somebody has a pet pop on and everybody apologizes. It's like, don't apologize.
No, don't apologize.
It's we love pod pets. We love pod pets and we love pod kids. So yes, absolutely. The Beavers for everybody.
Where everybody's welcome in the lodge.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a big mean grizzly, but I promise I won't eat or kill anyone.
No. This grizzly does not eat children.
Goodness, no.
No. We're such a terrible. I was gonna say we should wait till we fatten them up because they're lovely with a plum dipping sauce. I love children. I just can't have a full one. In one sitting.
Baby, the other white meat.
that's Jim just wrote there, democracy, something everyone should do. But Jim's wonderful wife Lori, she's the one that taught me that one. I love children. I just can't eat a full one in one sitting.
Oh goodness, no!
They're lovely with the plum dipping sauce.
I'm a meatitarian. Due to my food allergies, I've had a lot of people, you should try vegan. And I go, I enjoy living. What do you mean?
Yes, you're allergic to pretty much every vegetable.
Fruits,
vegetables. A very unhappy vegan.
There's literally about a dozen fruits and vegetables I can eat, and a number of them I can't stand. Cannot stand. They're like, oh, beets. Don't feed me beets. Give me a handful of dirt. It tastes the same to me. I can't eat beets.
Yep. I have a good friend who's now who's now a Buddhist monk, actually, and who's been vegetarian all his life and tried vegan for about a year and a half. And he turned around and says, "I was a very happy vegetarian. I was a very unhappy vegan." So he went back.
I have a few friends that are vegan, but one friend of mine.
I've had vegan stuff that's absolutely delicious.
Oh yes, I'm not saying.
I love meat too much, and there sometimes I go to a restaurant and I order the thing that has cheese on it just because it has cheese. So I would be a very bad vegan.
Every now and then I'll read a statement from somebody saying, I think in the future we'll look back and say, how did we ever eat animals? And I'm like, animals eat animals. What is wrong? It's part of the food chain. That's what they're here for. Like, look, it's called survival of the fittest. We tend to be at the top of the food chain because we're the fittest, only because we have opposable thumbs and can use a rifle.
But then again, I mean,
You give a grizzly bear a shotgun, and we might have a problem.
yes, the thing is that I don't know too many animals that can master a port wine reduction.
Well, this is the thing. You see. Seen a clip
Uh,
the other day. I tried to find it, but I couldn't find it. I saw it, and I should have saved it, and I didn't. It was two black bears standing, looking at one another, looked like they were, talking. And somebody wrote in, "I know a drug deal when I see it going down." And the first response was, "Yeah, if it was two polar bears, you'd just be saying two friends having a nice conversation."
oh, oh,
It's good though, right? It's like the black bear sitting at the picnic table. If I was a polar bear, I'd already been served.
um, speaking since we were speaking of musicians, just a little tidbit of news that I came across, so I can slap it in there because you actually mentioned Gordon Lightfoot. Gordon Lightfoot, 84 years old, unfortunately has canceled his scheduled series of concerts in several U.S. states, scheduled for April, May, and June, for undisclosed health reasons. So
I'm
we hope
hoping
that.
whatever it is, he overcomes it, because I was supposed to go see him a couple of years ago, and then the pandemic closed everything and shut it
Yeah,
down. So I'd really like to see him.
yeah, me too.
I've never
Yeah,
seen him live. I did
same
get to see Ian Tyson a couple of years ago, and he's since passed away. So it's one of those things like, check, yeah. And he performed Four Strong Winds.
Yeah, I'm
Which
I'm like that too. There are certain artists, even though maybe I wasn't the biggest fans, but
still need to see them.
but they still have the career, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting there. Okay, this might be the last time that they're passing by, so yeah, I'm getting that ticket. Now this one I was a fan, but I'm really glad I did it. The last time Aretha Franklin was in Ottawa.
Yeah, and I had to work that night. I didn't get to see it, and then she passed away like 3 years later.
Yeah, and I managed, and I was like, that was something I did not regret.
I had a ton of friends that were there, said, "Dude, I'm like, don't remind me that I missed. I know I missed."
Yeah. Like this, and the other one I saw was which wasn't my style of music specifically, but was Jose Carreras.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was dating an ambassador at the time, and we went to India. But it was really interesting. Jose Carreras. It was at the National Arts Center, but he did a recital with not necessarily the big hits,
Oh, wow.
but things that were technically very interesting. So I enjoyed it. I recognized one song the entire night.
Well, you know
Right?
who's coming to town soon is Herb Albert.
Yes, I asked my sweetie for tickets for my birthday.
Oh, yeah?
Albert, yes, he's coming to Kingston. He's going to stop in Kingston, of all places.
I asked my mom if she and my dad would be interested in going, and my mom was like, "I would be," and my dad was like, "No," and I was like, "Well, I'd go, but the tickets are like $150 a pop, which is a lot for a guy who's worth like $500 million."
Wow.
I think that's a little rich for my blood. I'm like, thanks. My mom's like, "I'll pay for them." I'm like, no.
It's Herb Albert.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to see him that badly, to be honest. And I didn't. I couldn't stomach that kind of dollars to see him. I just can't. I weigh how much do I want to see this person versus how much does it cost to see them? And it was like, there's certain artists, yeah, I'll pay that, no problem. And other artists, I'm like, meh, I can let it go. I was not a huge fan. He's a legend, A&M Records founder. He's the A in A&M, but I'm just not a huge fan of his. Never was.
Okay, they're a little less expensive here. $69.34 plus HST and handling fee. So probably about $80.
You know who's in Kingston tomorrow is the 15th. You know who's in Kingston tomorrow night? If you get a chance, you should go see him.
Who?
Our friend Spencer Rice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's playing a gig in Kingston tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Send me details if I can.
I'll find it. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be talking to him later, so I'll get the details. And I've got some more music from him, but I think we're going to go back and try and re-record some stuff because there was some audio issues that when I try and play it online, like if I listen to it here with the headphones, it sounds pretty good. But if we play it online, it sounds so. I think we're going to revisit that and maybe do some more recording. Try a couple of things.
Yeah. That Kit Ellen says, "Sad I missed Prince." I did too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I missed Prince. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen him. We were talking about. Not sure if it was you and me, but me and the guys from Around the Horn were talking about the Jazz Fest this summer. Buddy Guy is coming.
Oh, want to see that?
Yeah,
Want to see that?
Buddy Guy is coming to the Jazz Fest. And there was someone else as well. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was. Herbie Hancock.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Buddy Guy on the 28th and Herbie Hancock on the 30th of both of June. Kits, if you like jazz and you have a jazz festival where you are, check the lineups, because a lot of these artists do the jazz festival circuit. So if they're coming to one place, if they are touring, there's a good chance that they might be passing in your town.
So
there you go.
Musiki Cafe and Whiskey Bar, 73
Oh,
Broad
yes,
Street,
okay.
Saturday, April 15th, 8 to midnight. Music, booze, and social interaction. Spencer is a hell of a blues player. I mean, man, he plays slide. He plays the National Steel. Well, it's a National Steel guitar. He's a hell of a blues player. Like, unbelievably gifted guitar player. If you get a chance, go see him. It'll be worth your time, your effort, and he knows who you are because he watches the show.
Oh, cool.
So you get a chance to meet him. Yeah.
All right. And also,
if I could, I'd venture down to Kingston, but it's just I can't make it work out schedule wise. So.
Oh, okay. And I believe that also a Canadian artist named Katie Georgie. So Caity, Georgie, Gyorgy. She's a Canadian jazz artist from Alberta, and she won the Juno Award for Album of the Year this year at the Junos. So she's going to be on the jazz festival circuit this year too. So
I'm not familiar with her, but maybe I'll find something of hers to put in the next jazz show.
Yeah, she's let's see. She said that she received the Jazz Album of the Year 22 for her EP titled "Now Pronouncing Katie Georgie," and in 2023 for her debut LP featuring. So she's won twice already.
So is it Katie or KT?
Katie, Caity.
Okay.
Yeah, graduate of the music program at Humber College, received her Master's of Music and Jazz Performance at McGill, and released her debut album, No Bounds, and debut EP, Now Producing, in 2021. So she's relatively new, a new voice.
I will check her out then.
And apparently doing really well because she's already got 2 Junos. There you go.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So, check her out. Look for her. Other news. Let's see. What else have we got here? As a result of the ice storm that we had
a week ago,
it seems that most of the power is back on now. But on Monday, there was still over 30,000 people in the province of Quebec that didn't have it, and in the National Capital Region, about 90,000.
My friend was 128 hours without power.
Yeah.
They said that 2 hours, then it went away again.
Yeah, they said 2 days ago that they expected everything to be reconnected by today, end of day today. Hopefully that will be the case. But unfortunately, as a result of using unrecommended fuel burning methods to heat households during the period, there have been over 180 reported cases of carbon monoxide poisoning in the province of Quebec, and unfortunately 1 death.
People bringing barbecues into their home to cook and heat them. I'm like, no, that's not. No,
don't do that. Don't do that.
It's bad. It's very bad.
It's very bad. Yep. Please don't take unnecessary risks. Please.
No.
We had
a mall and hang out there all day if you have to, just to keep warm. Like, I mean, we do need to discuss too how our municipal governments don't have enough warming centers during really cold times or times like that. They should have opened up rec centers, community centers, said, listen, if you're without power, come here. We've got hot meals. I didn't see that happening.
Yep. School gyms, libraries, whatever.
You can make that happen in a minute. You don't believe me? Look what Gander, Newfoundland did on September 11th, 2001. A town of 5,000 people.
You just have to have the will and determine that the people for whom you're doing it are worth it.
That's it.
And that's the problem.
One of the things we discussed last night. Up close and impersonal, the lack of empathy. Yep, indeed. Little point here. We had a visit this week. We keep on hearing about Vladimir Zelensky,
But the president, Ukraine has a prime minister and a president. The prime minister of Ukraine was in Canada for a visit early this week. Didn't get a lot of attention, but it did get some, and was basically here to, thank us for what it is that we've been doing to help. And during the time he was here, the prime minister announced additional support for Ukraine, military aid. So we've dispersed over 2.4 billion. We've dispersed a $2.4 billion loan to the government of Ukraine to support essential services such as pension payments, purchasing fuel, restoring damaged energy infrastructure. So that brings the total of the funding that we have put in place to about $8 billion so far. And, we hear a lot about conservatives saying that our standing in the world keeps on decreasing, and that the United States keeps on, because we're not pulling our weight. Well, when it comes to this, just so you know, of all the nations that are participating, Canada, even though we are we are G8 nation, but we're maybe the 10th or 11th biggest economy in the world. We're the 4th largest contributor to the effort. So the UK, the US, and Germany are contributing more than it's us.
Yeah, so I think we're doing okay. And of course, there's people will take umbrage with that. But I'm like, here's what I'm going to say to you. Do you hear this? Do you hear this? Shall I turn it up for you? That's what I say to you.
Yep.
These people were invaded. A sovereign nation that was invaded by a mob boss, warlord, criminal, because he wanted it.
Yeah.
Putler.
Vladolf Putler. Yep. So the Prime Minister of Ukraine, Denis, I'm going to massacre his last name, Shmyhal, had come to visit. And and as you know, the Prime Minister and the President of Ukraine have stated many, many, many times how the relationship with Canada is more than just help.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
We really have been, friends. Friends indeed.
The largest Ukrainian diaspora in the world is in Canada.
Yep. So it's, meanwhile in the background, little things, because, we're at the point where this is, of course, we're at the protracted war, and so therefore we're not paying attention necessarily every day. But when the Prime Minister comes to town to say thank you, that's a big deal.
Indeed.
With regard to the budget, there's been a little bit of polling, and it seems to have gone over pretty well. According to Abacus data, only about 28% of Canadians think that the budget is bad. That's a lower number that supports the Conservative Party. So that means we even got a couple of Conservatives saying, very, very small number, but saying that the number is good. And it's when you're looking at the number, it's kind of interesting because it's 28. It's not very high, but a strong majority, in a typical Canadian fashion, believes that's a good budget considering the circumstances. How Canadian? How you doing? Not too bad.
Not too bad. We're
How's the budget? Pretty good considering the circumstances.
All things considered, not too bad.
That's a very Canadian answer. And another little bit of news I have here is, our good friend Clarence Thomas. Hopefully the first Supreme Court justice in a very, very long time to lose his seat. Turns out that his really good friend, Sugar Daddy Harlan Crow, not only does he like to give Clarence and the missus really expensive trips and use of his, cabin in the Adirondacks and use of his house here, and apparently use of the private jet when Mr. Harlan Crow is not on it.
I understood he also bought
was it one of their houses or something? We don't know if it was at market value or what the case was.
Yeah. Well, turns out that Harlan Crow is a very interesting man in other ways. It appears that he is also, turns out, quite the aficionado and collector of Nazi memorabilia.
Uh-huh.
He has a signed copy of Mein Kampf. He has not one but two paintings by Hitler. And he has swastika embossed linens.
Do you not see an issue with that? Because I certainly do.
Now, we have Ben Shapiro, who a lot of people said, right, one of the reasons I like Ben Shapiro is that he's a good debater.
No, he's not.
No, but a lot of people say that, right? Now, he's a good debater in the sense of, an academic high school.
That's it. Yeah, high school.
Like this, I'm going to make a point because I can twist things to make a point.
And then I'll yell at you and walk away.
But it doesn't matter that, well, we never did that in high school, yelling and walking away. High school debating. Yeah. But what happens is that there are points, when people like, you're having a discussion with someone and somebody's trying to make a point about a distinction on something. So, well, you got yeah, but it's a distinction without a meaningful difference.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So who cares? Right. So according to Ben Shapiro, gee, do you not think that somebody could be so against Nazism that they want a reminder? They need to. Okay. If I want a reminder that Nazism is bad, I could choose to have sleep every night on 1,000 thread count Egyptian
cotton. Yeah.
Right? Embossed, swastika embossed. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I really need to remember to hate those Nazis. And so luxurious.
Google's a thing and it works.
Or, you know what else you can collect? Jewish friends.
Yeah. They'll
remind you.
Yeah. Well, isn't Ben Shapiro, the name's a giveaway. He is Jewish. So why would he defend this, man? It's beyond me. It's beyond
me. It's probably for the same reasons that Leslie Lewis is defending having brunch with Christy Nazi and her
money.
Well, no, but it's like a kit on our Facebook page posted. Yeah, it's not like as if she would have been having dinner with David Duke and then just wait a minute. It is exactly like that, isn't it?
Exactly like that.
Yeah. So, yes, he collects things. And, of course, then Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who prefers the Walmart parking lots to the beaches because he's from regular stock and he's more comfortable in places like that.
Isn't that?
But he makes the effort to adapt to 9-day island hopping trips on a 140-foot plus yacht with a whole bunch of servants and, cabins in the Adirondacks and 2 weeks at the Bohemian Club with all the boys and free rides on the private jet. He's just regular stock and he prefers. Nobody fucking prefers going to a Walmart parking lot than to a beach. Come on.
Unless you're looking for a meth-addled hooker.
Jeez, man. Come on. So he's like, well, Supreme Court justices are allowed to have friends, Yeah, nobody said they couldn't. It's just that the law has been saying since about the times of Watergate that if you have friends that are in the habit of buying you gifts that are over $415 US, and kids, I have a healthy amount of friends. I don't have many that are offering me $415 US gifts. Even when my friends take me out to dinner and say, hey, it's my treat, it comes nowhere near $415 US. So you can still have friends and your friends can still treat you out to a very nice dinner. very nice dinner.
Mhm.
And you still not have to declare it if you're a Supreme Court justice, because there's not a lot of dinners that most people go to that will end up costing $415 US.
That's a lot of money.
He's been going on these trips for about 20 years. He says that he and Harlan have been friends for 25 years. Longtime friends.
Harlan,
Clarence Thomas has been a Supreme Court justice for 31 years. You became friends after you became a justice.
Anita Hill tried to warn us and we didn't listen.
Okay.
We vilified her and we didn't listen.
Yes. You became a Supreme Court justice before
You knew him.
you developed this wonderful friendship with Harlan Crow. Do you think he was really just interested in you for your lovely skin regimen?
I don't think that was the case. I really don't. I really don't. I don't think that was the case at all. I think Harlan owns his ass.
Clarence, for a man who's a Supreme Court justice, who's been a judge for many years, who's had people before him who've been lying.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen some of the best liars in the nation, liars that got all the way to the Supreme Court. And you've had to separate the wheat from the chaff. For someone who's been a witness, first-hand audience, first row in the splash zone to so much liar, you are fucking terrible at it, dude. You picked up nothing along the way.
Well, it goes back to the old saying, you might be the greatest athlete in the world at your sport, but it doesn't mean you can coach.
Gee.
You can't coach gifts, right?
Crap.
So, yeah, he ain't got it. He ain't got it.
Okay, and ignorance of the law?
Yeah.
Never an excuse?
No.
And you're a Supreme Court justice, so I think you would be reasonably expected to be knowledgeable of the law.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be unreasonable to expect you to be reasonably informed about the law if you're a Supreme Court justice.
And we're not talking about a jaywalking incident here. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars worth of free stuff over the last 25 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, Clarence, you're allowed to have friends so long as your friends, if they happen to be billionaires who own 140-plus foot yachts and happen to offer $500,000 value, $500,000 value trips to their friends, then, yeah, maybe your sugar daddy should file a report and maybe you should declare.
A little bit. It's a good reason.
There is a big gap between $415 US and $500,000 US.
Massive.
You have been, in my humble opinion, allegedly, because we must say it, particularly since you're a Supreme Court justice, have been deliberately, knowingly, and intentionally flouting the ethics laws for 2 decades. You got to go.
And take Brett Kavanaugh with you.
Now. You need to go now. And people should be following up on those, 1,500 tips that came in about Brett Kavanaugh, about whom someone made a documentary film.
And why is Amy Coney Barrett?
Justice. Pardon?
Amy Coney Barrett.
Yeah. So there's a documentary film out there called Justice that talks about Brett Kavanaugh and talks about all the tips that the FBI got about him that they did not investigate because this was not a criminal proceeding, but a job interview and a reference check. So they did the investigation. They gave the information to the party, and it was up to the party to decide what they wanted to do with the investigation data.
Well,
whether or not they wanted to produce that.
Isn't that peculiar that they didn't do anything?
Yes, they did not do anything with that. So there's all those tips that are just waiting to be followed up upon. Somebody cares to do it. Just saying. So, yeah, Clarence, dude, I think you need to take a note from our prime minister, and I think you need to recuse yourself to some chambers and take a little more time to reflect on your friendship with Harlan Crow and maybe pray.
He won't do that because he didn't have a conscience. You need a conscience to be able to do that, and he doesn't have one, clearly. If he did, he killed it a long time ago. He smashed Jiminy Cricket the moment he saw him. Crush that little annoying cricket, telling me to do good things when I'm having too much fun being bad. Let's bring it around to the start again. I got remember when we talked about Skippy and his admonishment of well, anything that's decent and good in this world. You remember Allan Rock?
Yes, I saw. Yes, please show that.
So I have a clip of Allan Rock here talking. It's 2 minutes and 15 seconds talking to Vashi Kapelos about how PO'd he is. Let's have a look at this, shall we?
All right.
This is, yeah.
I'm sad and frankly, I'm angry at the nature of the attacks being made against the foundation these days.
I was going to ask you because you seem to come to it with a lot of emotion. I can tell you're attached to the concept. So what has been going through your mind as you're kind of reading these details emerge, and then also the reaction to it?
Well, I guess I respond on two levels. First of all, there's Pierre Poilievre. I think we're learning more about him than we are about the Trudeau Foundation as a result of the nature of these attacks. The attacks are ignorant, irresponsible, highly partisan, and typical of Poilievre and the way he does business. It's sad to see politics descend to this level. I mean, I spent 10 years over there. I'm no babe in the woods when it comes to politics. But I know a smarmy, glib snake oil salesman when I see one, and it's Pierre Poilievre. Nothing positive to offer, no vision for the country, just being critical. His real target here, Vashi, is Justin Trudeau. The Trudeau Foundation is collateral damage, and it's important damage. I can tell you, as someone who was the president of one of Canada's biggest universities for 8 years, the Trudeau Foundation is a hugely important landmark in Canadian academics, in the intellectual life of this country. Do you know that there are hundreds of young Canadians who've benefited from the scholarships, the fellowships, the mentorships? I don't think Poilievre knows what the foundation does. And if he did, he should be ashamed of himself. I've met students who applied for scholarships. I've been a reference for them. These are kids who, many of whom came from nothing, who have massive student debts, but who want the scholarship because it opens up the world to them. Gives them a chance to continue their studies as part of an intellectual network across Canada and around the world. It's an invaluable resource for this country. And one more thing, if I may, it's hardly partisan. I mentioned the all-party support in the House when we introduced the bill. Its board of directors over the years has included Bill Davis, Peter Lougheed, Roy Romano, hardly Liberal stalwarts.
The look on Vashi's face.
Did you see the eyes?
He's like, I can't believe he just said that. And I'm like, hell yeah, he said that. Allan Rock was not one to be pushed around. Allan Rock was not one to hold his tongue.
Allan Rock rocked. I worked for him.
Oh, did you? Did you?
Yeah, directly. I was when I worked at Health Canada for a while. I was the secretariat for the minister's personal advisory council on HIV and AIDS. So
I always liked the man.
I always liked the man too. Very much had the touch, and it was really interesting. I think he must have eyes that change color because depending on what he's wearing, because his eyes were sort of hazel, but he's got these gorgeous baby blues. If you're standing in front of him like this, and you're just like you can be like, if you focus on them, he's got
Paul Newman.
yeah. So, but yeah, I bang on.
Yeah,
bang on. That's exactly it. And anyway, I've got the clip of PP saying, you know what, people need to see it. Just how
the look on her face.
we read it, but okay.
Let's just play that again. I'm going to play it without the sound, but that.
Oh, the look. Yep. One more time.
It's like, what?
That sniveling little rat called Pierre Poilievre. Woo! See, kids, when I say number one rule of communication, you cannot not communicate. Even when you are trying, like nothing else on her body moved, right? If you were just looking at the body, if you'd missed the eyes, you would have not noticed anything. She would have looked completely, totally professional and like this, just letting the answer just roll over her. Like this, it was just like, whoa. All you saw was you cannot not communicate. There's always something. You're always communicating something. Even when you're trying to communicate nothing, you're communicating something. Something will come out. All right, Mr. Grizzly. This was the thing that, the little readout that we had. Now, there was the Beaver Peace Theater version of it, and, well, this is how it actually went down.
Live event.
You work for CP? Yes, I do. So your biggest client is CBC, right?
Yes, but
yes, that's right. I just want to be careful that we don't get you in a conflict of interest here. Have you checked with the ethics commissioner on whether you're in a conflict of interest in asking about CBC funding, given that it's the principal source of money for CP? You work for CP?
What a smarmy little punk.
Mr. Grizzly, if you would leave the visual up there for a second, because I believe you inspired something. Oh, yeah.
Christ, what an asshole.
It seems that many comics have for this time it's Family Circle rather than Lucy holding the ball. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to like fall face down onto the bed and go, oh, fuck, my head hurts.
Yeah. Well, and he I thought Allan Rock's a smarmy little snake oil salesman. I'm like, oh man, I've been saying that for a long time. It's nice when somebody in a position of power and authority who worked on the Hill is in lockstep with you.
Yeah, I like what Kit Linda
said. It's validating, right?
Yep.
It's validating.
Yep, I like what Kit Linda said. The follow-up question should have been, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
You know, they'd never let me into a presser because I'd be yelling my head off.
Well, yeah, and of course, right, like he cares about, I just want to make sure that you're not involved in an ethics problem because you're asking.
Yeah, yes, my response would be, this is not about me, sir. This is about you. Answer the question. Answer the question. Answer the question. Answer the question.
How much? Yes or no?
Yes or no? How much? Answer the question.
But seriously, why? Why is nobody just turn around and says like, I'd be sitting there and it's like, oh, okay. Follow-up question. Did you really think that was a good look? Bitch. Oh, sorry.
Did I say that?
Sorry. Sorry, but
that's
my Tourette's.
Tourette's. Fuck.
Seriously.
Yeah.
What is wrong with? I agree with you. Like, Skippy? What the hell is wrong with you? How many times were you dropped on your head? How many hugs do I have to come and personally give you to make up for what you lacked throughout your life? I will take one for the team. I will cuddle you all freaking night, every night for a whole week. Just
did you grow up with a
fuck
house
on,
with lead tapes and lead paint? Like, it makes me wonder.
Ugh. Kit Elaine, Spicy Beaver. So again, this Spicy Beaver moment is brought to you by the Peppermaster. Hot, fresh ingredients. To thrill your taste buds and expand your mind, please try their boot. Oh boy, I can't even pronounce that one. So let's try Gordon Scorpion and Jay's Peach Ghost Sauce today.
It's
there
very
you
good.
go.
It's very good.
My tongue is so spacey I can't even get the names of the flavors out. That's how spiced up I'm now.
Okay, I'm getting hungry. I want an egg sandwich, and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna like a fried egg sandwich, and I'm gonna put some spicy on there.
So you're gonna put some spicy on your eggs?
My eggs, I like the spicy on my eggs. I have an orange glass of juice, a pair of toasts, and 2 eggs up facing the sun.
I love that.
An orange glass of juice, 2 pairs of toast,
2 pairs of toast.
some hash browns, and 2 eggs up facing the sun. Lo. That's
Oh,
what
man.
me and my coworker, we'd go for breakfast because we'd start our shift 7 in the morning. We'd take a breakfast break around 10. And that's how he ordered it one day. And I'm like, I'm going to use that forever. He goes, what? I go, I'm not making fun of you, dude. I just love the way you said it. I'm going to use that forever.
The interesting thing, since we're talking about Clarence Thomas and friends, because you knew this would have to happen eventually. It appears, you know those AI generating things?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems that Republicans on Instagram used AI to transform today's most powerful fascists into powerful drag queens.
Let's take a look. Okay,
Michelle McConnell. Or Bitch McConnell. Hello, kids. Hello, bitch.
all I see is Carol, what's her name? Hello, Dolly.
Really? Yeah, Carol Channing.
Yeah. Carol Kane? Was it Carol Kane? No,
Carol Channing.
Carol
Channing.
Channing. Thank you. Yes.
Well, hello, Johnny. Well, hello, Johnny. Yes. Teditha de la Cruz, you lose.
That's an RBF for sure.
Right. Mademoiselle Lindsay Graham Crackers.
Lady Grey.
Fierce. Looking a little bit like Robin, actually, eh?
A little bit. Yeah,
Swedish singer Robin in there?
Yeah.
Clarencia Felicia Thomas.
Okay. I'm thinking Andre Leon Talley right there.
Right.
He looks
Same
like
here.
him, doesn't he?
Yep, very much. Yep, definitely.
He's the late editor of Vogue. Oh, that's disturbing.
Stephanie Badone.
Isn't that the sea witch from The Little Mermaid?
Yes, somebody's second comment right there, Ursula. Very much. Very much.
Well, Ursula was based on Divine.
Right.
Like the character of Ursula in the animated movie was based on the drag performer Divine.
You think you're a man, but you're only a boy. You think you're a man, but you're only a toy. Oh, come on. It's a great song.
I know, but looking at him, it freaks me the hell out.
Josephina Hawley or Josephina Holland-Ass.
Actually, that's kind of a good look for him. Like, that's kind of a good look for him. I'm not kidding.
Yes.
It's a good look for him.
It's a better one than this one, right?
Yeah.
Run, Josh, run. Especially in heels. Oh. Well.
I'm not sure who that is.
Mark Meadows.
Oh, okay. It's not on my radar, so I don't really know.
Lovely little wave right there.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, Rana de Satan.
That's a huge improvement for him, actually.
It is.
I barely recognize him. Then I see the smarmy look on his face. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. But actually, it's a good look. The hair is just rocking.
Flawless hair.
Yeah.
Ron, you look good as a redhead. And of course, like Barbie Pence, because that bitch has everything.
See, they didn't change his face or his hair at all. They just stuck his head in.
Yep. Just wondering. But they forgot to accessorize him with the pink fly in his hair.
Yeah, they need the pink fly.
Oh, man. I thought we'd have some fun. And turns out I had a little fun of my own, too, yesterday. It seems that Pee-Pee put out yet another statement, thus proving that he is capable, once again, right, of putting out statements on party letterhead with his signature. and his
Huh?
name. We're still waiting on the one about you officially denouncing Christinazi.
Yeah, it hasn't done that yet.
Okay.
No.
So, but we know he's capable now.
Well, clearly,
Right? We have proof. He knows how to do it. It's not that he doesn't know how, it's just that he won't.
he just
Right?
refuses to.
So this was the one to Twitter, right? Twitter. I am writing in respect of Twitter's practice of identifying certain accounts as government-funded media. Twitter's platform uses guidelines to describe the practice as follows: blah, 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 yada, 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 hot air, hot air, hot air. As a result, and in the interest of transparency. Okay. First, bitch, that word's doing a lot of work in that sentence. Transparency. We still need to hear from your mouth. Transparency. Yeah, right. Okay. In the interest of transparency.
In his mind, transparency is two parents that are trans.
Oh, I believe that Twitter should apply the government-funded media label to CBC's various news-related accounts, including @CBC News, and @CBC Alerts, but not at Radio-Canada.
Interesting.
He won't say in French what he says in English. Well, I believe that letter was missing a paragraph.
Oh, do you have it?
Yeah, I did. We found the fixed it for you version.
Oh, you got it? Yeah. Can you show that?
Yeah. So this was the original version.
All right.
And then we had our investigative team look, and we found documents with the fixed it for you on it.
Oh.
And the very last paragraph, if we blow it up there. Oh, and so I'm writing to ask you, foreign nationals, to please, pretty please, with maple syrup on top, interfere in our politics and elections. It would really help. Thanks, eh?
Yeah, that seems like it's more along the lines of what he's just done.
Yeah, there we go. Because
but Beijing.
We like to help, so it's like, hi, PP, us again. We found your missing paragraph. We like to help. You're welcome. I mean, it's just like, he wrote this whole letter, but he forgot to say specifically what it was he was asking for, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, why speak in euphemisms? Just ask for what you want. That's my theory in life. I come on here and I ask for people to come watch us, to subscribe, to send us tips, to give us ideas.
Ask for what you want. If you don't ask
for what you want. He doesn't seem to be asking for what he wants, so I thought we would help.
Just nudge him along in the direction that he's actually going.
Yeah, provide a little clarity.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Grizzly, do we have a show?
We do indeed, sir.
All right. Okay, kids, this is the end of our Friday morning bite, the end of this week's shows of the Daily Beaver Morning Show. We hope that you love listening to us, because we love making this for you. And please accept my thanks for your indulgence of me not being here 2 days this week. I appreciate your kindness. And thank you, sir, for holding down the lodge while I wasn't. But, hey, it matters. It matters. It really does. And it means a lot to me. So I thank you.
Take a look at what's on the screen.
Oh, let's see. Tuesday, the Supreme Court will hear arguments in the case about Doug Ford's secret mandate letters. It will be webcast live at 9:30 a.m. Ooh.
So that you want to tune into that. I'm not going to be able to, because I'll be in a meeting, but I know you'll pay attention to that for us. So it's important to see that.
Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. So please let your peeps know about us. And we're looking at our data so far for this month. It's absolutely wonderful. So thank you, kids. Again, we are flattered by your listenership and your support. It means a lot to us, because democracy is something that you do. You need one of these, which is a writing implement, and you need some of this,
paper,
which is what you write on, and then you put your little lovely handwriting there, And you write to an MP, an MPP, an MLA, a senator, a member of the media, and you let them know you have thoughts and that you have expectations and that you demand better.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if you're living in Alberta, maybe letting people know that you're starting to get a little sick and tired of the repeated insults to your intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying. Because that 11-minute phone call with Danielle Smith, when I'm listening to it, I don't hear a single damn thing at any point during that whole 11 minutes that gives the impression that she thought that she was on a call with the leader of the Alberta Independence Party. Nobody introduces themselves as a leader. The person who facilitates the call doesn't introduce them. And of course, it's like Danielle Smith, of course, had this incredible habit of reaching out to all the opposition party leaders in the province, right? I mean, there's documentation of that and photos of those calls with her. Oh, no. She only called the leader of the Independence Party, one of the least popular parties in terms of votes. You'd think that if she was calling all the parties, she would call the ones that leaders that have bigger public support first, or she'd at least call all of them. But she only chose one. Nobody introduced him as the leader of the party. I don't remember them talking any policy that didn't involve the fate of Mr. Pawlowski personally before the courts. And then she literally, after saying many times she had a disastrous press interview, presser, where she basically repeated, well, this thing is now before the court, so I can't say anything, like 6 or 7 times. But it's not before the courts.
It's not.
She's only considering, maybe, possibly, perhaps putting it before the courts. So it's not yet. So she's lying about it. She's lying about it being in front of the courts. She's lying about it, or not being able to say anything because it's before the courts. She's weaponizing the court system in that sense, so as to muzzle everyone so that they don't answer questions. And then, after saying that she won't talk about it anymore, she goes on her radio show on Saturday and talks about it.
Yeah, hypocrite. Hypocrite.
And comes back with a whole new line of questioning that if you go back and you listen to the 11 minutes, it's like, I don't know what phone call you were participating in or listened to after the fact, but it's not the same one the rest of us heard. So, if you're in Alberta, perhaps write your media and everyone and say, I may have been born yesterday, but I wasn't born in the dead of night.
Well, I was born at night, but it wasn't last night.
Right? With no lights on, pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I can still put 2 and 2 together. She lies.
She does.
Like she breathes.
Oh, yeah.
With frightening frequency, comfort, and ease.
Pathological.
Yep. If you really like this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. Stars and reviews are appreciated. We love every single one. We love to hear from you. Reach us on the Facebook at True North Eager Beaver, our Twitter feed at True Eager, or by email via truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. Please subscribe to us via our pod page, podpage.com/the-True-North-Eager-Beaver, lowercase letters with a hyphen between each one of those words. And if you happen to be listening to us right now on our YouTube channel, well, why not make like Kit Elaine and smash those buttons? Yeah, and if you're there, please subscribe. Why not? It helps us out. And plus, you officially get to go around and tell everybody, oh yeah, I subscribe to that channel because I'm an informed and engaged citizen. Just so happens. It's a good look. Just tell you. Why not? And we can't do this without you and your kind or generous support. So if you feel that we've done a particularly good show or that we've had a particularly good week, well, if you're watching, if you scan the QR code that I'm sure Mr. Grizzly will make appear close to his head at any time now, because it is not there, you could scan that with your phone. There it is. See, ask and you shall receive. Ask for what you want. Yeah, just what we say. And there you go. You scan that with your phone, and that will bring you to our super emergency, absolutely must take care of it, hot chocolate, Guinness, beer, and Caesar Fund. So if you'd like to help us out with that, we would appreciate it. And today I will not drop water on myself to prove a point. I did that yesterday. You don't get it twice in a row. And if you're listening to the show, then our coffee page is at ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, all in one word, lowercase letters. And, well, that's where you can go to make your donation. And we are very grateful for everything that you allow us to have. So thank you very much. Merch, we're still working on it. So please keep your powder dry. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying until next time, dear kids, it can be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. A couple of programming notes, as we mentioned. Tonight, 7 p.m., we will be presenting our very, very special interview. Again, I know we're being teases, but you do want to watch this. We have, I will say, a legend.
A legend. And we had thought we only had a few minutes.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, so much a legend. It's like this is, I'm doing this, and this is about the amount of time that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And well, turns out we got a way more. I mean, we were strategizing. It's like we got 10 minutes. We got to ask like 3 questions. These are like, let's pick them. And it didn't go that way at all.
No, it went the exact opposite way.
It was a gift.
We were, I think, 20 minutes in, and we're like, whoops. And he's like, it's good. It's good. Let's keep rolling. I'm like, yes.
So we did. So it was supposed to be just a little snippet that we were going to like take and then put in one of our shows to show it to you. But turns out that we have a full interview episode.
Episode. It's 90 plus minutes, and it's well worth your time.
Yeah.
It's a human moment. It's enlightening. It's encompassing. It might make you shed a tear or two, because we got a little misty-eyed at one point.
Yes, we did.
It's deeply personal. It's very human and
very real.
Very real. Please, I'm asking you to watch the show at 7 p.m. this evening and share it with as many people as you can, because it's and he complimented us in ways that I'm like, me? What? You sure it's not? Is there somebody else in the room? Like, unexpected. So yeah, it was something else. And
yep.
Is there a later evening show?
Yes. I do not know if James is set up yet to do Casual Fridays this week. But if he is, he will be joining us, hopefully, if he's able to. If not, Mr. Grizzly and I will set up a time and a space this evening. So 9 p.m.
Yeah, if anybody wants to join.
If everyone wants to join, we'll be doing
some lighthearted laughter, because we get a little bit heavy in the interview.
Exactly. Yes. And if you're with us tomorrow, 3 p.m. Mountain Time or 5 p.m. Eastern Time, around there, hopefully I will be back from my curling final.
Victory.
Hopefully victorious by then to be able to start on time. We will have our second of our Alberta election specials, preview shows. And we have confirmed guests, Nate Pike from the Breakdown Alberta and Max Fawcett.
He's going to be joining us.
Yes. From the National Observer, I believe it is.
Yes, it is.
My head. He's agreed. And who knows? We might have other guests.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. But we have at least them two next week. This week. So we hope that you join us for that. All right. And then on the 22nd, if all goes well, we will be doing our monthly pub event. So lots of stuff coming on.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah. All right.
We're busy. Holy crap.
We're busy. We're busy beavers and busy grizzlies.
I'm a busy grizzly. Grizzly. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt.
Walking around with a clipboard.
Hey, you over there. Get in position.
Sorry, can't talk right now. Very busy. Very
Very busy.
Very busy. Things to do.
Things
Budgets to balance.
busy man.
Yes,
Busy
very
man.
busy.
Sorry,
Did you
going
do that?
into a meeting. Going into a meeting.
Check. Yes, very busy. Mr. Grizzly, do you have some words of wisdom for us before we go?
Well, I was going to really push everybody that can watch the show this evening at 7 p.m. That was my words of wisdom, because the it's enlightening, it's heartfelt, it's honest, it's real, it's empathetic, it's compassionate, it's three human beings having a very human moment, and it was very unexpected. And like I said, the compliments that were paid to us were like,
Yeah. Well,
Really?
when we were done, it was like, can you believe this is our life now?
I can't believe that just happened.
It just happened. So
That just
yes,
happened.
you will really love it. It's a treat, kids, and I know we are
wonderful.
mercilessly teasing you at the moment,
Mhm.
but you really,
It's well worth your time.
It's a coup. The good kind. The good kind.
And we have a new friend, which, is one of the things I say is you can never have enough friends. And the older you get, you want to make more, because once you get to a certain age, you tend not to make as many new friends, and you start saying goodbye to old friends because they shuffle off this mortal coil. So making new friends at our age is something that I welcome and treasure.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Grizzly, please send us off into a glorious weekend by rolling.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
And kids, please send some healing energy to Beaver's O's dub.
Okay. Well, that sucks to be you. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm feeling okay. Don't worry about it. I would just like my head to feel like
Better?
a Tom Brady football, a little deflated.
That's a good one. I wrote it down. See ya.
See ya.